We're at a point in our careers right now where we've achieved a lot of things that we wanted to achieve from the first two albums. We've toured with a lot of the bands that we wanted to tour with. We've toured in many countries around the world, and we've pretty much burnt ourselves to the ground. And
all of this touring and traveling really took a toll on us. And even for Phantom, we didn't stop touring and traveling.
During the writing process of Phantom, we've been in a rush, literally for 2 years, touring 90% of the time and using our day offs only to write more music, to travel in another continent, and we didn't take the time to sit down and brainstorm the album all together.
We've been lucky enough to share the stage with the biggest names in the industries. We've been touring with Slipknot, Motorhead, Suicide Silence, Asking Alexandria. It's been an amazing experience.
All these influences were kind of clustered and we didn't really know how to digest them.
but the conditions in which it was written and recorded weren't exactly ideal for us because we were caught up in the mess and the stress of touring non-stop.
On the second album cycle, one of the biggest challenges was definitely the drummer situation.
I still can't believe that just the fact that this guy is born in Russia gave us such a hard time to keep him in the band with us and play music together.
It's been heartbreaking for me to not have Mark in the band anymore because, as some of you may know, he was like my brother. He's been living at my house for more than 2 years. And the fact that we couldn't practice and write music together and we couldn't even play shows towards the end together, it's been rough.
Even for tours, there's so many tours where until a couple of weeks before we didn't know if Mark was going to make it or not. And that has definitely been a big stress on the band, although Mark was one of our best friends. And that's when in 2016, we decided that we had to part ways in order to be a band that can get together to write and practice whenever we need to.
Despite everything, we had the chance to cross the path of Boris. We first met him in London. He offered us to play drums for us whenever Mark was not available, and he ended playing drums for us pretty much all the time.
He's an amazing drummer, he's very skilled, and when we play with him on stage we feel very safe and secure because we know he's not gonna fuck up, you know. He's gonna nail all the songs and play it perfectly with a great energy.
And as a musician, it feels really good to be on stage with someone like him. And after everything we experienced, we grew up as musicians, as people, as human, and now we know where we're going. And the resilience is the result of this.
Allowing ourselves to take a lot of time to write this third album, it really kind of put us back to where we were when we recorded our first album, Breathing Life. Just going back to the source, going back to our roots, finding ourselves as people. We were touring non-stop for over 3 years, and not only finding ourselves as people, but finding each other as friends again. You know, we were always in each other's faces, and now we found a way to really communicate and put out an album that really reflects who we are as people.
We rise, we fall, we learn from the fall, and we just rise higher and stronger.
On this album, personally and also as a band, we was all aiming for songs that tell a story, songs that come to life. To write songs from the bottom to the top, with the same idea and the same theme to the song. Lyrically, musically, everything just comes together to make songs that come to life.
What we did is we were like 2 or 3 working together, and then 2 or 3 others would take the rest of the songs, and then we would take it to the studio, we call vocals, and see how the vocals turn around the song, modify the songs around the vocals. And that really took time to do, so that's why we've been like away for a little bit, because we really want to do good songs in a way and find our sound again.
We decided to take almost a year off to prepare this album. We wanted to work a lot in pre-production to arrive in the studio with something that was very well prepared.
Make sure that each instrument, each voice, each note worked in harmony with each other. Like we would take away a guitar part to make a vocal part sound stronger, and likewise we just really going back and forth between all instruments to make sure it all came together to make a real artistic piece.
We wanted every riff to have the impact that it needs to have and not just be layers on top of layers on top of layers. Everything had to make sense, and we're really all on the same page with that.
And we all agreed that we wanted to create some real well-structured songs with a global positive message throughout the album.
Recording demos of everything we had and really taking the time to listen back to it and not accept that the song is finished until we were all 100% happy about them.
So between the moment of finishing the pre-production and actually going into the studio, we took a full 10 days to go into the studio, into a practice studio.
We locked ourselves into a practice room for, I don't know, 10 hours a day and just played the songs over and over again, changing some little details, you know, drum feel here and there, transitions, things that felt more natural.
Some songs work better live, and we really wanted to capture that feeling for our audience, just so they crush really hard live. So then here we were with something that we put over a year of work into. Everything was perfect, everything was in its place, everything was how it should be, and each member of the group was completely satisfied with the way everything sounded. So in spring 2016, we headed over to London to record what we already knew was going to be our best record yet.